Hi everybody, welcome to today's webinar. Today we're going to take a look at a note-taking tool that kind of falls between Notability and SoundNote. It's a tool called AudioNote. This is what it looks like right here. It's a little microphone over a notepad. If I go ahead and tap on that, you're going to see we're going to open up a tool called AudioNote. This is a $5 app on the App Store. What this allows us to do is pretty much what we've seen with a lot of the other note-taking apps on the iPad. We can record audio, and then while we're recording audio, it links what we do on our note page to that audio, so that when we touch that, we can go back and listen to that point in playback mode. So you look over here on the far left side of the screen, you've got your notes that are open. If you hit the folders button, you'll see that you can set this up with iCloud, Dropbox, or directly on this iPad and just save things on the iPad. We're going to save it here. What this means is that you can move this to Dropbox. You cannot open something that's on Dropbox into this and then take notes over it, which would have been pretty cool to be able to do. So the key to this app is really right over here, this little area here. When you hit record, it starts recording everything that's being said. When you hit the T for the text option, it's going to allow you to begin typing. So wherever you happen to touch, that's where you're going to be able to start typing. You can see your keyboard comes up and you can start typing. If you hit the little line or the little pencil here, the pen, what that's going to bring up is some pen options. You see the squiggly line allows you to write. So if you had a digital or a stylus, you could write on here. You could draw straight lines. You can draw arrows, boxes, circles. You can choose a color. You can erase, or you can undo or redo. There's also a highlighting option here. If we choose the highlighter, you can see I think you can only highlight in yellow, but we would be able to go ahead and just draw across the text that we want to highlight, and it's going to go ahead and highlight that for us. The other cool thing here is we do have a picture option. So while you're taking notes and while it's recording, you can actually take a picture and add that into your document. And when you add that into your document, it's going to actually be linked to what was recording at that time. So that can be something that we can jump to as a picture, which is nice. And that's different from what we have seen with other things in the past. SoundNote doesn't allow you to take pictures. Notability doesn't link the pictures that we take to the recording at that time. So we can take a picture and link it to the recording. So when we play back, I want you to notice something here. Whenever you start a new line, it gives you a time code as to where that is in the recording, where that's going to start. You can see this line I started typing at 22 seconds, this line at 51, this line at 1:03. That gives you that time code down the side of your page. When I hit play, it's going to start playing from wherever you tap. It's going to jump to that point in the recording. So I can hit play up at the beginning here, and you can see it's playing from the very beginning. Now if I tap at the 51-second mark, it's going to jump to that 51-second mark here. Should have jumped to that. If I tap further down, it should be, oh no, you know why it's not doing that? It's because I didn't, this is an important thing to notice. What I had selected was the typing mode, so it was going to allow me to type. If you want to choose a mode, or if you want to choose where you want to go, you have to make sure that that finger is selected. So now that that's selected, if I hit playback and I jump to the 51-second spot, it should jump there, and you're going to see as it plays back, it highlights. And it's really hard to tell, but it changes what you wrote to like a light blue as that time code is reached. So you can see exactly what you were typing when that piece was speaking. And now I'm going to show you. I'm going to click on the picture, and as I go to the picture, it jumps to where I was, what was playing, what was recording when I took that picture. Now, one of the things that I like about this that I think is cool is that even after we take these notes, we can add to them. This recording, we can add right back to the recording, and we can add our own notes into this if we want. You can see I added these two arrows into my picture. So if I wanted to point out a couple of other things with this and I wanted to have my own notes attached to them, I could go here and I could choose the pencil, and I'm going to choose the line, and then I'm going to tap record, and you'll hear I'm going to just talk something out with notes as I draw here. This section talks about smartboards. Smartboards are very important for use in the classroom. You see lots of classrooms using smartboards these days. It's really something that we need to pay more attention to. Then I didn't start recording. I just flipped to recording mode. So let's just go back and do that again. I apologize. Let's undo that, and we'll do it again. So now I'm going to hit record, and we'll do that again. So you saw a nice example of what I'm going to do. This section here talks about smartboards. Smartboards are more and more important because they're used in classrooms all over the place. They're an essential tool for use in the classroom. It's really something that we should be talking about more in college preparation classes. Okay, so now I've added 2 new notes in here. I've added that arrow, I've added the circle. When I hit playback, I get back to playback mode. So in record mode, you can record, but hitting record doesn't record automatically for you. You have to go over here and press the red button. In playback mode, that's when I can play this back. So when I go back to playback mode and hit play, and I tap on that arrow that we just drew, you can hear me talking. You can hear what I just said and just recorded. So I think that's actually a really cool component of this, that we can add our own notes into this right at the end of what we were recording, that we can just add right to the end of that recording. We don't have to start a new recording there. So this really, I mean, this is a fairly simple tool. Like, it's got a little bit more than what SoundNote does for the same price. It isn't quite as robust as what you've got with Notability, but it allows you to do a few more things, like taking pictures and incorporating that into the audio and adding notes yourself at the end of the recording after the recording's been stopped. So really, this is a nice feature. If you're thinking about using something like this for note taking, take a look at all 3 of those tools, decide what you're most comfortable with, and that's going to give you your best option. Now, if you want to see more about this or see more app reviews, all of our app reviews are posted on the iCater Toolkit. It's a free app in the App Store. You can go ahead and download that and look at all of our app reviews and take a look at any other apps that might be helpful to you. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at james-stachowiak@uiowa.edu, or you can call me at 319-335-5280. Thanks, everybody, and have a good day.